forms and flavors. We all remember the coveted pizza party in elementary school, where we'd get a slice so damn thin that you'd think that we're rationing out food in a post-apocalyptic Chuck E. Cheese. That was also the moment that we learned that God is indeed real. He just thinks it's funny when we're sad. It was one of the greatest culinary inventions in modern history that basically put Italy on the map, because, let's be honest with ourselves here, there's no way that you thought a country shaped like a boot worn by white Anglo-Saxon horse girls and autumn was real. But what if I told you that the true history of pizza had been hidden from you all of these years? Join me as we delve into the real history and the mystery of pizza. Many people would initially assume that pizza found its origins in ancient Italy, but you'd be surprised to hear that it goes much further back than that. To the ancient Babylonians, this revelation came with the discovery of an ancient Babylonian recipe book in the form of a clay tablet, because in this may come as a surprise to many of you, they did not have staples. That kind of blew my mind when I found that out. What the heck? Amongst your regular recipes of meat and vegetarian dishes, it also speaks of a particular recipe with a flatbread with vegetable toppings on it. Sound familiar? Ancient pizza. What makes this finding even more interesting is that the Babylonians were famously known for their developments in math and science. In other words, they were a bunch of ancient crusty nerds due to a lack of them having no friends and being a bunch of dorks. They calculated the area of a circle by taking 3 times the square of its radius, which gave a value of pi or close to it. Yeah, that's right, pi. We're talking 3.1415 9265358 932384626 64333327 95028841 97169399 375105820 09749445. But why do you think they call it pi? That stands for pizza pie. The ancient inventors of pizza also invented circles. Unfortunately, after the Persian king Cyrus the Grey conquered Babylon, the development of the pizza that we know today was almost halted because, for some reason, the guy just didn't like flatbreads. Now let's talk about Little Caesar. One of the most influential people in the history of pizza was born in 70 BCE as none other than the son of Julius Caesar. Too many historians think that Julius Caesar only had one son, but a seasoned pizza scholar like myself knows that that's not the truth, and those other historians can actually go huff paint. Caesar had this child with a woman named Octavia, but he wasn't married to her, which is bad drama, deceit, adultery. This child was a bastard, and what makes matters worse is that when Octavia was pregnant with Caesar too, she got attacked by a bear, so he came out real small, and we're talking like really short. This guy was 411 at best. When you're really short and nobody talks to you because your dad doesn't love you, you do things to mask the pain. This was Little Caesar's situation. The dude was miserable, but that caused him to discover something that had been lost for many years. Little tiny Caesar was the first person to put toppings on focaccia bread, making it a trend with the local village, and let me tell you, they loved him. He was having a lot of sex, and the power of this early pizza was spreading through the Roman Republic like a wildfire, as well as the ideas of freedom and individuality that pizza often promotes. Unfortunately, this was around the same time that his father, Julius Caesar, had declared himself dictator for life of the Roman Republic, who just so happened to not be a fan of those themes. One day, as Little Caesar was enjoying his focaccia bread with toppings on it, he was ambushed by a group of anti-pizza Caesar thugs who just beat the crap out of him. They beat him so bad that historians think that he may have gotten brain damage, because the only recorded thing that he said after this event was pizza pizza. From that moment on, Little Caesar was exiled from society by his own father, which is super rude and not cool, and only devout followers of Little Caesar would take on the way of the pizza through secret underground apprenticeships. Once again, it seemed like the way of the pizza could go extinct, which is tragic. That is, of course, until the pizza explosion. Little Caesar, with his limited vocabulary, passed down his pizza recipe for hundreds of years, with each apprentice adding their own little jazz to the mix, their own little spice. A few people added tomatoes, they added cheese. It was becoming more complicated, more scientific. Italy was suddenly a booming paradise of pizza technology, pizza diversity. It was a beautiful time to be alive, and people often like to call it the Renaissance. Personally, I wouldn't have called this period of time the Renaissance. I think that's a stupid name. I would have called it pizza time. Italy's got a pizza and it's in your oven. Italy's cooking up something real good. Pizzaville, and the Pope is there too. And after this period of time, pizza spread throughout the world. People were eating it in Moscow, doing the little Moscow dance that the Russians do. Look at them go. People were eating it in China with those cats from the PBS show that I saw when I was a kid, and if they weren't eating pizza, they wouldn't have built the Great Wall of China, because they wouldn't have had the strength. And of course, pizza found its way to sail on The open seas, which is where we run into Pizza Beard. The discovery of the New World also came. The discovery of great economic prosperity on the high seas, and of course with this came pirates. There are legends of a great pirate by the name of Giovanni Lufondi, who was the captain of a ship called the Doughboy's Embrace. However, like the fate of many pirates, when they set out onto the open seas, him and his crew fell ill to scurvy. If you don't know what scurvy is, it's when you don't have enough vitamin C and then your teeth fall out just when it seemed like everything was lost. Though Giovanni had the intuition to put limes as a topping on the ship's supply of pizza, saving the crew and giving him the title Pizza Beard. Pizza Beard and his pizza crew went on to fight many battles of legend, ending only with Pizza Beard being hanged. For punching a kid, he was actually hung by his own crew, because, in terms of piracy, that's where they draw the line, punching kids. Hundreds of years later, many pizza artisans much like Pizza Beard went on to seek their fortune in the land of opportunity. This, of course, leads us to, oh, where am I? I'm lost in the big city. Just kidding, I know exactly where I am. I'm in the home of New York-style pizza, characterized by large hand-tossed thin crust and sold in big slices for the city that never sleeps. This is a good slice. What historians don't tell you, though, is this pizza style's connection with the famous 5 families of the Italian-American organized crime scene. You've got the Maranzano, the Prophecies, the Manga, and the Hecaliano, but what they don't talk about is the Mozzarellas, the 6th family in the Italian-American organized crime scene. Don't believe me? Don't look it up. The Mozzarella family was founded by Antonio Progranculo Mozzarella, but his friends like to call him Tony. His enemies, however, they call him the Grease, and I don't know why. So similar to how many organized crime syndicates engage in loan sharking, the Mozzarellas followed a similar model, except that in their case they called it pasta sharking. They pretty much controlled the pizza economy in New York by having a stranglehold on the pizza sauce imports into the city and then selling it back to the pizza shops at exorbitant rates. Talk about cool but rude. Obviously this was not good for the city of New York or New York-style pizza. I mean, the Mozzarellas were heck everything up, making pizza more expensive. Pizza should be cheap and cheesy, alright, and don't take it from me, take it from Socrates, because he's the one who said that. So one day Joe Lombardi, son of Geneva Lombardi, who founded the very first pizza shop in the United States, founded the Staten Island Dough Tosser Book Club. This was a team made up of the best pizza makers in New York City. You've got Joe Lombardi, Vito Pastelliano, Giorno Salami, Carmen Gabagool, and Tony Doorbell. These guys were some of the toughest pizza makers in New York City, and they were sick of Mozzarellas. Shitzarella. Let me tell you, why was it called a book club, you may ask? Nobody ever checks what's going on in a book club because nobody cares what happens next. Is Joe Lombardi and his crew of dough tossers burst into the Mozzarella headquarters and they kill Antonio Prosciutto Vappanculo Mozzarella, but not before giving him one final slice of New York City. But this time, the sauce was the blood of his beloved cat bologna. After that, the Mozzarella family was dissolved in pizza in New York City, thrived like never before. Also, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are real, because pizza is real. Whatever, that was the video for today. If you like it, you know what to do. Thank you for watching me. Enjoy the rest video watching me eat.